Hi, ladies. Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, why do I look so tired when I actually feel okay? Here's a truth most women never see coming. It might be your hair. For so many women over 50, our hair used to be a source of pride. Thick, styled, expressive. But somewhere along the way, it became something else entirely. Not because we've aged, but because we've held on to a style that belongs to someone we used to be. You see, most of us aren't wearing bad hairstyles. We're wearing old ones. The same cut, the same color, the same approach we've trusted for decades, even when it no longer reflects who we are today. The result? You feel fine, but you look off. And it's not just about appearance. It's about energy, presence, and alignment with your evolved self. But here's the good news. You don't need a drastic change. You don't need to go trendy. And you definitely don't need to look younger. What you do need is a modern haircut that fits the life, face, and spirit you're living with right now. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 common hairstyles that are secretly aging women over 50, and more importantly, 3 fresh, elegant alternatives that will help you look lighter, brighter, and more you than you've felt in years. Because this isn't about chasing youth, it's about choosing yourself with grace, intention, and style. If you've ever cut your hair just because I've always had it this way, drop a comment below that says "Fresh Me." Because today, we're styling for the woman you've become, not the one you've outgrown. The legacy cut, when old habits hide new beauty. Let me tell you a story. Her name is Diane. She's 58, a retired teacher, a proud grandmother of 2, and one of the warmest, most thoughtful women you'll ever meet. For over 2 decades, Diane wore the same haircut, a short, heavily layered style she first got back when she was still teaching high school English. It framed her face perfectly back then. It felt polished, practical, and youthful. And for a long time, it worked. But things change. Your face softens. Your energy evolves. Your hair, yes, even the texture, starts to speak a different language. And yet, Diane kept going back to the same haircut every few months. Not because she loved it, but because it was familiar, safe. Until one day, sitting in front of the mirror, she said something that hit me like a bolt of lightning. I don't feel old. I just feel like this hair doesn't belong to me anymore. And that's the trap so many women fall into, the legacy cut. A hairstyle that once lifted you, but now holds you back. And the signs are easy to miss. First, too many short layers. They used to give volume. Now, they just create chaos, especially if your hair has thinned with age. Instead of fullness, you get frizz. Instead of shape, you get struggle. Second, ignoring hair texture. Diane's natural wave used to bounce with ease, but now, those same choppy layers refused to fall in place. Each morning became a battle with blow dryers, round brushes, and curling irons that left her tired before breakfast. Third, lack of face framing. Instead of lifting her cheekbones or opening up her eyes, the cut dragged everything down. It was no longer highlighting her features. It was hiding them. And worst of all, it didn't feel like her anymore. She didn't look in the mirror and see someone older. She looked in the mirror and saw someone she didn't recognize. Because that's what an outdated haircut can do. Not make you look bad, but make you feel distant from your reflection. But here's the breakthrough. One small change, done right, can bring your whole face and your spirit back into focus. In the next section, we're going to explore a cut that's soft, modern, and designed to work with you, not against you. Because when your haircut finally aligns with who you are now, everything changes. Dark dye, harsh truths. For decades, jet black hair has carried with it a certain mystique. It's been a symbol of power, allure, and control. Think silver screen icons, magazine covers, and the fierce confidence of a woman who knows exactly who she is. But here's the quiet truth no one tells you after 50. That same powerful color might now be doing the opposite of what you hoped. Meet Linda. She's 61, vibrant, sharp, and still full of curiosity for life. But one day, after another touch-up appointment, she looked at herself in the salon mirror and said, "Why do I feel like my hair is wearing me instead of the other way around?" Let's break down what was really happening and what may be happening to you too. First, jet black is an incredibly dense pigment. It absorbs light instead of reflecting it. That means instead of bringing radiance to your face, it casts shadows, especially on mature skin, which tends to lose its youthful warmth and brightness. Suddenly, every little line, dark circle, or uneven skin tone becomes more pronounced. The result? A face that looks tired, even when your spirit is full of life. Second, the contrast between pitch black hair and naturally softening skin can feel harsh, even unintentionally aggressive. Your features might appear sharper, but not in a flattering way. Where you once felt bold, you may now feel like your look is too much, even when you're wearing less. Third, let's talk about root upkeep. Jet black dye demands an exhausting level of maintenance. Gray roots peeking through a sea of black? They don't whisper, they shout. You may find yourself coloring your roots every 2 to 3 weeks, stuck in an endless cycle of color, fade, repeat, and silently dreading every appointment. Not because you don't love your hair, but because it no longer feels worth the effort. So what's the alternative? You don't have to go silver overnight, unless you want to. More on that later. Instead, consider softening your tone. Try a rich chestnut brown with hints of caramel to warm your complexion. This blend adds light and movement while still feeling grounded and elegant. If you're not ready for a full shift, start with face framing highlights. These subtle pops of brightness create lift around the eyes and cheekbones, like turning on a soft filter in real life. Or, if you're feeling ready for a graceful evolution, you can start blending toward a salt and pepper tone. Modern techniques like gray blending or smoky balayage let you transition slowly, without that dramatic grow-out line. Because here's the truth, no one tells you when you're clinging to black. Color is not just color, it's light, it's energy. It's a reflection of the vitality within you, not the age on your license. When you choose a tone that harmonizes with your skin, your features light up. You appear more open, more rested, and more you. And not because you're trying to look younger, but because you're finally aligned with who you are now. So if you've been asking yourself why your reflection feels off lately, it may not be your makeup. It might be your color. Let's soften, not fade. Let's brighten, not bleach. Let's evolve, gently, powerfully, beautifully. Coming up next, we'll look at another style trap that many women fall into, one that seems safe, but actually steals your spark. Big hair, small presence. Let's talk about a style that many women have relied on for years, especially when they started to feel their hair thinning or losing its bounce. Teasing, backcombing, volume sprays. The higher the hair, the stronger the woman. Right? Not quite. There was a time when big hair felt like a power move. It said, "I'm here, I'm polished, I've got this handled." But over time, what once lifted your look might now be weighing you down, literally and emotionally. Because here's the truth. Big, overly teased, stiff hair isn't making you look more glamorous after 50. It's making you look stuck. Let's break it down. First, there's the helmet effect. When hair is teased into a rigid structure that doesn't move, doesn't sway, doesn't soften your features, it ends up doing the opposite of what you intended. Instead of framing your face with elegance, it creates a hard outline that blocks light and casts shadows. It adds visual bulk without dimension, and suddenly, your face can look smaller, rounder, or more tired than it actually is. Second, big hair often clashes with the rest of your look. Your clothes may be modern, your makeup subtle, your energy calm and confident. But then comes this crown of volume from another era, and it disconnects everything. People may not know exactly why, something feels off, but they feel it, and so do you. Third, let's talk about the toll it takes. Teasing, spraying, reteasing. Day after day it damages your strands, especially now that hair may already be finer or more delicate. It leads to breakage, thinning, and split ends. And ironically, all the things you were trying to cover up with that volume. And let's be honest, the effort it takes? You're spending 30 minutes styling your hair to make it stay in place, only to look in the mirror and still feel like you're hiding behind something that no longer reflects you. So ask yourself, do you want people to see your hairstyle or see you? Because the volume isn't the problem. It's the intention behind it. Volume can be beautiful. Soft lift at the crown, gentle fullness at the sides. Those things bring light and life to your face. But when volume becomes armor, when it's built up so high it overshadows your expression, your movement, your joy, that's when it stops serving you. Here's the truth. You don't need big hair to make a big impression. You've lived enough, loved enough, and grown enough to know that presence doesn't come from your roots. It comes from your energy. So let's stop styling to look put together in a way that feels rigid, outdated, and exhausting. Let's start choosing cuts and textures that breathe, that move, that respond to you, not resist you. Let your hair whisper, not shout. Let it say, I'm light, I'm current, I'm comfortable in who I am. Because confidence today doesn't look like hairspray and height. It looks like softness, natural texture, flow. It looks like you when you stop trying to be who you once were and finally embrace who you've become. And now, let's talk solutions. Because the good news is, there are modern hairstyles that give you effortless lift, low maintenance polish, and a silhouette that flatters, without pulling focus from your beautiful face. Coming up next, 3 flattering alternatives that bring light, movement, and elegance back into your look, with no teasing required. Soft bob, effortless elegance. There's something magical about a haircut that doesn't just flatter your face, but feels like you. Let's talk about the soft bob. It's simple, it's polished, and it's quietly powerful. The soft bob typically falls at the chin or just above the shoulders. It features gentle, face-framing layers, not too many, not too few, designed to move with you, not fight against you. No harsh angles, no stiff lines, just a clean, graceful shape that draws the eye upward, lifts the cheekbones, and opens up your entire expression. Why does this cut work so well, especially after 50? Because it understands your needs. It's not about chasing youth. It's about meeting you where you are, with lightness, ease, and refinement. Here's what makes it so loved. It holds its shape. You don't need an army of tools or an hour in front of the mirror. It air dries beautifully, styles easily, and still looks put together when you're in a rush. It softens the temples. If you've noticed thinning near the sides of your head, the soft bob is a gentle fix. The subtle volume created by the framing layers adds fullness in all the right places. It elevates your features. By grazing just below the jaw or cheekbones, this cut naturally brings focus to your eyes. It's flattering from every angle, on camera, in the mirror, and in real life. It adapts. Whether your hair is naturally straight, gently wavy, or somewhere in between, the soft bob lets your natural texture shine through. No fight, just flow. But maybe the most important benefit isn't about how it looks, it's about how it feels. Women who make the switch often describe it the same way. I looked in the mirror and finally saw me again. Not a version I was trying to hold on to, not a compromise, but the real me, just more alive. And that's exactly the point. The soft bob isn't flashy. It's not screaming for attention. It's elegant, grounded, modern, but timeless. It quietly reminds the world, and yourself, I still care, I still glow, and I still show up fully. So if you've been clinging to long layers that no longer lay right, or a high-maintenance cut that requires more energy than it gives back, this could be the shift you didn't know you were ready for. Because sometimes, all it takes is a few soft edges to rediscover your strongest presence. Up next, we'll explore a slightly longer version of this cut, the textured lob, for women who love a little extra movement and freedom, without losing the grace. Textured lob, grace in motion. If you've ever stood in front of a mirror thinking, I still want length, but I need something fresher, lighter, more me, the textured lob might be the cut you didn't know you were waiting for. Lob, short for lunging bob, is the perfect in-between. Not too short, not too long, just right, right around the shoulders, with softly blended layers that add movement and grace without ever feeling stiff or overdone. This is a cut designed with real life in mind, ideal for women who still love the feel of a ponytail, who want to tuck their hair behind their ears, who still like the flexibility to twist it into a casual bun or sweep it to one side, and still walk away feeling put together. But here's the real magic: movement. Those subtle layers bring a flow and softness to your hair that immediately lifts the face, highlighting the cheekbones, brightening the eyes, and adding life to every step you take. No teasing, no stiff curls. Just natural-looking shape and motion that feels effortless and intentional. And if your hair has started to thin, as it naturally can after 50, the textured lob offers a quiet solution. By layering gently around the sides, it gives the illusion of volume. The ends look fuller. The crown has lift. Your silhouette appears more balanced, and the eye is drawn to your face, not your part line. It's graceful without being rigid. Modern without trying too hard. Versatile without the headache of daily styling demands. Whether your hair is straight, wavy, or somewhere in between, this cut respects your texture. Let it air dry with a little sea salt spray, wrap a few sections around a curling wand, or even braid it damp for overnight waves. It responds. It moves. It reflects light. And most importantly, it feels like freedom. But maybe the best part of all? This style ages with you, not against you. It's not a dramatic change. It's a natural evolution. It doesn't scream for attention, but it holds it. You look fresh, light, present, like a woman who's embraced exactly where she is and is still in motion. Coming up next, if you've ever been curious about bangs, but terrified of repeating that one bad haircut from 1987, our next segment will show you a modern, gentle way to frame your face. Curtain bangs. Yes, they work beautifully after 50, and here's why. Curtain bangs, the gentle reframe. Let's talk about one of the most misunderstood hair elements after 50, bangs. Most of us have had at least one bang regret in the past. You know the one. Heavy, blunt, unflattering. It took months to grow out and years to forget. But what if bangs didn't have to be such a risk? What if they were soft, grown up, and tailored to your current features? Not your younger ones? That's exactly where curtain bangs come in. So, what are curtain bangs? They're not your typical fringe. They're longer, parted softly down the middle or swept to the side. They drape gently toward your cheekbones, creating a light, flowing frame around your face. And instead of cutting your features off, they blend, they soften, they whisper style, rather than shout for it. Let's talk about what makes them so effective, especially after 50. First, they cover the forehead, but not in a way that boxes you in. If you've started to notice fine lines or a little change in skin texture, curtain bangs offer just enough coverage to feel fresh without feeling hidden. Second, they gently contour the face. By angling downward at the sides, curtain bangs naturally narrow the appearance of the face, soften strong cheekbones, and draw attention back to the eyes. Third, they help with thinning hair around the temples or hairline, a change many women don't talk about but absolutely notice. These bangs fill in the frame, camouflaging sparse areas in a way that looks effortless and natural. And here's the best part. Curtain bangs are low commitment. They grow out gracefully. You don't need trims every 3 weeks. They blend easily into the rest of your haircut if you decide to shift styles. And they work beautifully with nearly every hair texture, straight, wavy, or lightly curled. Pair them with a bob, a lob, even longer layers, and suddenly, your whole look feels lighter, fresher, more current. You don't need a drastic chop to rediscover your face. You just need the right fringe to reintroduce yourself to the mirror. So if you've ever stood in front of the mirror and thought, I need something new but not extreme, this could be it. Curtain bangs don't change who you are. They reveal more of the you that's always been there, just waiting for a softer frame. Up next, we'll wrap up with a message you've been needing to hear about the kind of beauty that's not about looking younger, but about being more fully seen. You haven't aged, you've evolved. Here's what I want you to remember as we wrap up. Getting a haircut after 50 isn't about chasing youth. It's not about looking like you did 20 years ago, or even 10. It's about standing in front of the mirror and finally seeing yourself again. Not the woman you were, not the version you were expected to be, but you right now, stronger, wiser, and absolutely deserving of a style that reflects that. Because hair isn't just about appearance, it's about identity. And when your hairstyle matches your energy, your confidence doesn't just return, it radiates. You haven't aged, you've evolved. And your hair? It's simply catching up. So let me ask you something. Which hairstyle spoke to you today? Which one made you feel excited, maybe even a little nervous, in that I think I'm ready kind of way? Comment my look forward below and tell me which cut you're curious to try. I read every word and I'd love to cheer you on. And in the next video, I'll help you choose the perfect hair color, one that flatters your skin tone, elevates your energy, and matches the beautiful new chapter you're stepping into. You're not starting over, you're stepping forward, and you're going to look amazing doing it.